Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my great short story series. We're working on short story 27, Secrets by Tim Winston. Not Winston. Oh my God, I can't even speak right. Tim Winston. It is Winston. I said it right. I'm crazy. What am I talking about? Never mind. All right. We're going to do the second half of the class. I've got a few tasks for you and a vocabulary exercise as well, because we're going to try to take what we've been doing and add some skills to it, not just read the story and discuss it, but also try to work a little bit on how can we use a native text to actually learn new vocabulary and be more flexible in our use of English. So we're going to look at a vocabulary exercise in addition to everything else. That's a little bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means when you're not speaking, please turn off your microphone so we can keep the classroom nice and quiet. But when you are speaking, tune in to the new words that you're learning. Use them as actively as you can so that I can correct you and give you feedback. Finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. We're going to get started in just a second. I'm going to open the link. I'm going to post the link again, and I'm going to open it as a PDF so you can follow along at home. Give me just a second to do that. There we go. Okay, so on screen you should now see the graphic once you get the link open. And if you don't have the link, of course I always put everything in class materials on the Verbling page. But if you don't have it for some reason, I will also post in the chat window right now. There we go. All right, so we're going to get started at the moment that someone comes into the room. If you're having any problems getting in, send me a message in the chat window so I can see that there's a problem. In fact, I'm going to write any problems joining, because sometimes I get signed out. I don't really know why this happens. Okay, so just come on in and we'll get started. Okay, if I don't have anyone come in, I'll just start reading this story. But of course, that's not ideal because you're the ones who should be reading, not me. No problems what? No problems joining? Or you can't join? I didn't understand, Sergio. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's some problem with the Hangout. So, Sergio, are you having problems joining? Is everything okay? I am testing. Okay. You're in? I don't see you. Okay, maybe there's a problem with the Hangout.
Hello?
Okay, I restarted the Hangout because I couldn't see anyone. So I don't know what happened.
We are two of them.
Did you enter the Hangout before me?
Yes.
Me too.
That is very strange. Okay, I don't know what happened. Anyway, we're here, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's get started. In the last class, we read about the first half of the story. Here's what I'd like to do. Bottom, you'll see on this page summaries, and it says, can you ask one question for one or more of these things? Well, I don't want to ask a question per se. You can create a question if you like. But just to recall some of the information that you got out of the first half of the story, we can just talk about these. If you want to actually create a question, you can. If not, we'll just discuss, let's say, 3 out of these points. So first of all, let's talk about the characters. I'll ask you a question, and again, if you want to ask a question, let me know and I'll write it. But who were characters you encountered so far in the story? When I say so far, I mean from the beginning until the time we stopped reading, from that point. Who were the characters that we encountered so far that you remember?
Kylie?
Kylie, good.
Her mother?
Uh-huh.
And the boyfriend or friend of her mother.
Sounds good. I think his name was Philip. Well, I don't know why this is coming out yellow. I don't know why the color is yellow. It shouldn't be, but I can't get it. I can't change the color for some reason. Give me a second here. Can I change it to something darker? What is going? Oh, maybe it's. Huh? What is going on here? I don't know why I'm stuck in yellow. All right. Anyway, I'll just put some notes here. So
Press format.
format. Okay. I see form. I don't see format.
The right. Yeah.
Comment format. Got it. You're right. I'm gonna put it in. Let's put it in blue. You're right. Thank you. I didn't see it. There we go. We have Philip. We have
Kylie.
Kylie. And, oh, come on. This thing won't let me write. This is why you should never use PDFs. Really a pain. Let's try this again. Okay? Kylie and her mother. We don't know her name, I don't think.
No.
Okay, good. Now, are those the only characters we've met? I can think of at least two other characters.
The farm animals.
Exactly.
The
The egg.
rooster and the hen.
The egg is a character.
The rooster.
Yeah, we met the animals. We didn't meet a specific animal per se. Yeah, we talked about the rooster a little bit. Okay,
Yes.
but we've got Kylie, her mother, the egg, and one more character. What about her father?
Ah, okay, yes.
Her father's a really important character,
Yes.
but he's not actually in the story.
No.
But he's there. He's talked about. What about the plot? What? I'm going to ask you the question here, but when I say plot, I mean what happened. What happened so far?
Uh, a little girl
Mm-hmm.
found an egg in the backyard of her new house.
So far, so good. A little girl found an egg in the backyard of our house. I agree with that.
She kept it in secret.
She kept it.
He kept it in secret.
That's it. Okay? So, Kylie found an egg and kept it secret. Okay? Anything else that you remember?
Yes, she
Mm-hmm.
she rides on a tree to watch the farm animals in the
Is this
neighbor's
something
house.
is this something that she did once or that she would always do in the story? I don't remember.
I I think she usually
Did it?
yes, or on the fence or in a trip.
Okay, good. If she usually did it, we say she would do it. Daniel. If she usually did it, we say she would do it.
Uh,
It's not the same as in Spanish.
no.
So it's not. I know. She would sit on the fence. She would sit on the fence and watch. Ran out of space. Whoops. Let me move that over. There we go. She would sit on the fence and watch.
The farm animals to the neighbor's house or neighbor's yard.
Okay, good. So that's important. When we talk about things we usually do in the past, not in the present,
Mm-hmm.
because if I say the present, it's I usually do it. But if it's in the past and it's usual, like she used to all the time,
Yes.
right? You can say used to, but even better, you say would.
Uh-huh.
That's a habit in the past. She would sit on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we're doing pretty well. And, Andrew, were you in the last class? Did you read any of the story yet?
Unfortunately, no. I
Okay.
wasn't.
So Daniel,
Yes.
you gave him a brief summary. We know that Kylie found an egg. She kept it secret. She would sit on the fence and watch the animals.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the conflict.
Conflict.
What's the conflict of the
Yes.
story, in your opinion?
Her mother remind her all time she didn't live with or they didn't live with her real father or her father.
Good. Didn't live with her real father. So that is definitely part of the conflict. You said her mother remind her all the time. Are you talking about the past or the present?
Present continuous.
No,
Maybe.
no, forget about the tense. Don't worry about the grammar. Are you speaking about the past or the present?
The present.
So right now, her mother is reminding her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, I didn't understand you. So her mother reminds her in the present. Because her mother is third person.
I feel that, but I don't know.
It's
Maybe.
okay. It's all right. It doesn't matter. It's your opinion. It's fine.
Mm.
But look at the grammar. Her mother reminds her all the time they don't live with her real father. Okay? I'm just fixing the grammar because you said her mother remind, so I didn't know if you meant the past or the present. If it's the present, it's got to be reminds.
Yes, third person.
Exactly.
Mm.
Okay, that is definitely part of the conflict. Her mother reminds her all the time, and Philip, her stepfather, also reminds her all the time, just by being around. Not even because of anything that they do, just because they're there. So she's constantly reminded that she's not with her real father. Okay, good so far. Um, let's move forward here. We're going to start part 2. Okay, so Andrew, do you have a sense about what the story is about so far? Do you
I
have a rough
tried
idea
to
so
read.
far?
I tried to read quickly, but I didn't succeed. Just
You can read the beginning later. It's only a page anyway. But do you have a rough idea about what's more or less what's going on? So you know it's about a girl. You know it's
the
about
girl,
her.
the girl found an egg.
Hmm.
It was kind of conflict with, I don't understand with whom.
It's a conflict in the sense that she has a secret, something that she's not telling her parents about. And
Found
don't
about
forget,
that.
sorry?
The secret is about an egg.
Yeah, there's chickens, and one of them lays an egg in a different part of the yard.
Yeah.
So she kind of finds it, and I think she keeps it, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of her secret. The point is, it's something she doesn't tell her parents about. Uh, that's the conflict because she for the first time, we only met her in one page. We don't know much about her, but we can see that it's important for her to have a secret. Let's keep reading because this is a really short story. It's just about 2 pages long. So let's keep reading, and you'll notice some vocabulary words in bold and some difficult ones in blue. So Andrew, why don't you start us off on the very first paragraph?
Okay, I will try. Sometimes in afternoon after shopping with her mother, Kelly found a second egg in the place between the fence and the tin. She saw too a flash of white beneath a mound of wine cut wine cuttings
Good.
in the corner of the yard. She climbed her tree and waited.
Oh, so
Uh,
Daniel was right. It was a tree, not a fence. You're right, Daniel.
yeah. A hen, thinner than thinner and more raggedy,
Raggedy.
raggedy than the others, emerged. Emerged.
Mm-hmm.
She had a bloody comb and a furtive way of picking the ground utterly and moving in nervous bursts. For some time she poked and stretched about,
Scratched about.
scratched about, forsaking snails and slings out of the long grass until saw
Kylie.
Kylie saw her move across to the piece of tin and disappear.
So, what did Kylie find?
Second
Second,
egg.
second egg, and not just the egg. What else? What's the white that she goes to explore?
What is wine cuttings?
Vine cuttings means that there was those green plants that grow up the side of the building. And if you don't cut them, right? If you don't cut them, they take over the building. They're vines. Grapes also grow on vines. So that means that they were doing work in the yard. They were cutting down the extra plants. They were doing work. So she sees a flash of white beneath a mound of vine cuttings. She sees a flash of white. And what does that white turn out to be? What does it turn out to be? She says white, but what is it really?
A hen?
It's a hen. Exactly. She finds another egg and she finds a secret hen. A hen that's different than the others. Is it a healthy hen?
No, it is thinner than
That's right.
others
Okay.
and kind of nervous.
You'll notice the words in blue, furtive and fossicking. These are part of an exercise we'll look at the end of class. So don't worry about what they mean right now. Okay, we're each going to pick one or two paragraphs. So Daniel, you're next.
Each day, Kylie saw another egg added to the nest up the back. She saw the raggedy hen picked and chased and kicked by the others next door, saw her slid between the pickets to escape. The secret became bigger every day. The holidays stretched on. Philip and her mother left her alone. She was happy. She sat on the fence, sharing the secret with the hen.
Oh, now it's a fence again. Sharing the secret.
Sharing the secret.
Yeah, not secret, but secret.
Secret. Okay.
Okay, very good. Well, that was short. Why don't you continue? One more.
Okay. When they had first moved into this house on the leafy, quiet street, Philip had shown Kyle and her mother the round.
Kylie.
Philip had shown Kylie and her mother the round, galvanized tin cover of the board well in the back of the yard.
Look, round is not the end of the sentence. It's part of a description. So you have to say it like this. The round, galvanized tin cover. Cover of what? Of this well, a bore well.
Mm-hmm.
So
What it means round in this case, because I was
circular.
looking up.
Circular. Really round, just like in Spanish. Circular. So the cover, how do you say cover in Spanish? Tampa? Cobertura?
Sí, sí.
Okay.
Cubrir.
So it's circular.
Cubierto.
Coberto. So it's a metal, round metal thing that covers a hole. In this case, it's a well.
Okay. Will. Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
All right, keep going.
Philip had shown Kyle and her mother the round, galvanized tin cover of the board wheel in the back of the yard.
Mm-hmm.
The sun winked off it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Philip said it was 36 feet deep and very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle was forbidden to lift the lid. It was off limits. She was fascinated by it. Some afternoons she sat out under the grapevines with her photo album, turning pages and looking across every now and then at that glinting lid.
Wait. The expression is every now and then.
Every now and then.
So you got to say it as a group.
Okay.
So looking across every now and then.
Looking across every now and then at that glinting lid. It couldn't be seen from the back veranda. It was obscured by a banana tree and a leaning brick wall.
I would say leaning brick wall.
Leaning. Okay.
Okay.
And
Leaning.
look,
Leaning.
and a leaning brick wall.
All right, very good. So they first moved into the house. Okay, a bore well, that just means a well. So they get water from there. So
Okay.
bore is just like the word boring. Like when
Uh-huh.
you drill a hole in the ground, you bore into the ground. In this
Uh,
case, it's probably to get water.
mhm.
What do you think? What do you think she's doing? What's the connection between this and her secret? Does anyone see a connection already? This is a
Something.
story about childhood. So what's happening with Kylie? First the egg and then this. Why do you think it's important for her what to notice the well?
She's attracted by something forbidden.
Exactly. Exactly.
All
Exactly.
childs.
She's attracted by whatever she's not allowed to do, she's
Mm,
attracted by it. She was forbidden to lift the lid. It was off limits. So she was fascinated by it. That's it. Yuki, why don't you continue next to?
Okay, just a minute.
Let's say hello to Francisco as well. Francisco, we're right in the middle of our story. Yuki's going to read, but you'll get a chance as well, too. Okay?
Hello. Okay.
Okay, just a minute. Um,
I am
mm,
read
You,
now. Sorry.
in
no, no,
all
I'm
her
just saying
Okay.
hello.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Hola. Hello. Sorry.
Okay, and when you open that link in the chat window, we're on
Okay.
page 8, and Yuki's going to read, and then we'll turn it over to you, and we'll discuss the story at the end, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Yuki.
in all her photographs, there was not one of her father. He had been the
Photographer.
photographer in the family. He took photos of Kylie and her mother, Kylie and her friends, but he was always out of the picture, behind the camera. Behind the camera. Sometimes she found herself looking for him in the pictures. Sometimes it was a game for her. At the, at others, she didn't realize she was doing it. It was at this time that Kylie began to lift the lid on the well. It was not heavy and it moved easily. Carefully, those mornings, shifted by the
Oh,
banana
wait,
tree,
wait. Shielded.
sorry, shielded by the banana tree, she peered down into the cylindrical pit which smelled sweety and dank. Um, right down at the bottom was something that looked like an engine with pipes leading from it. A narrow, rusty ladder went down the wall of the well. Slugs and spider webs clung to it.
There you go. So she's going to go down the well because she's forbidden, of course. Just a question. What do you think about that paragraph, the first one? For me, it's a little bit unusual because of this sentence. Sometimes it was a game for her, and other times she didn't realize she was doing it. Doing what exactly, Yuki? What's she doing? Just to clarify that sentence, what's she actually doing with the pictures?
Uh, he, her father was a
Photographer,
photographer.
right?
Uh, he took a photo of Kylie and her mother. So
Not just one, but many.
and her friends.
Yeah. And
Um,
so what was she doing as
so
she...
father is always out of picture. So I think father is not on the photograph.
That's right.
There is no photograph of her father in the
Exactly.
house.
And so what's she doing when she's looking at the pictures? Is she looking at herself?
She looking for him in the pictures. So she looking for father in the
Exactly.
pictures. So
It- as if
father
she's
is
going to
the
find him magically.
object of camera.
Exactly. So as if she's going to see him in the background or something. So sometimes it's a game, and sometimes she doesn't even know that she's doing it. That line seems very significant to me. Just stands out. I don't know, just for some reason it really stands out. Sometimes she didn't realize she was doing it. As if suddenly this is a movie and the camera moves back and we see her doing it. In other words, we're not looking from her point of view, we're looking at her looking at the picture. It reminds me of a movie, as if to say that we the audience, we the readers, have a privileged perspective, and we can see things about her that she can't see.
Mhm.
It
Yes.
seems important to me anyway. I don't know. Well, I was going to let our good friend Francisco read, but he just disappeared. So, Francisco, I can't let you read if you're not in class. Okay, we're going to go on to the next one. A nice big one there for you, Andrew, on the next page. See it?
Well, one afternoon, when Philip and her mother were locked in the big bedroom, laughing and making the bed dark, bark,
Barked. Barked like a dog. Arf, arf.
making the bed bark on their board, Kylie took her photo album outside to the wheel, opened the lid, and with a book stuffed into the waistband of her shorts, went down the ladder with slow, deliberate movements. Flecks of rust came away under her hands and fell whispering a long way down. The ladder quivered, quivered,
Quivered. Quivered.
quivered,
Good.
quivered. The sky was a blue disk above, growing smaller and paler. She climbed down past the engine to the moist sand and sat with her back to the curling wall. She looked up. It was like beginning of. It was like beginning.
Being.
It was like being a drop of water in a straw, or a piece of rice in a blowpipe. The kind boys stung her with a school. She heard the neighbor's rooster,
Rooster.
rooster crowing, and the sound of the wind. She looked through her album. Pictures of her mother showed her looking away into the distance. Her long, waving
I think
hair,
I think this one is actually wheaten. I think
wheaten,
it's not a word you hear often, but maybe it's because it's an Australian story. Her wheaten hair.
wheaten. Uh, Her long, wheaten hair bl- blew in the wind and hang
Blew in the wind. Past.
blew in the wind and
Hung.
hung still and beautiful. It had been so long. Her mother never looked at the camera. Kylie saw herself, ugly and short and dark beside her. She grew cold and climbed out of the wheel.
Out of the well.
Uy,
And
Out
uy.
of the
listen,
well.
one pronunciation issue. The word her. Say that
Her.
for me. See, now
Her.
you said, yeah, now you said it perfectly. When you're reading, you're saying here, here, as if it's two vowels, e-er. But in fact, when you said it now, you said it perfectly. Her. So, for example, her mother never looked at the camera.
I see.
Repeat for me.
Uh,
Her mother.
her mother.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's
I
perfect.
was a bit nervous.
Because it's all Russian speakers tend to say the have, here. They have this extra vowel when they say the H. So, but you got it. You got it.
Thank you for correction.
And so, what do you think about her experience in the well? Why do you think she does that, Andrew?
Mm,
Why do you think she goes down there? How does she feel down there? In your opinion, there's no right or wrong. Just from what you gather so far, does she feel safe down there?
mm, maybe she felt she would feel better there.
Yeah, she must have, or she wouldn't have gone, right? So first she's going down to the well because it's forbidden. But she brings this book of photographs, so she intends to have a moment there, a private moment, I think. Um, and why does she go one afternoon when Philip and her mother were locked in the big bedroom, laughing and making the bed bark? Is that
What?
clear, everyone?
I don't understand the bad bark. It, just snoring.
I don't know. I've never heard a bed bark, but I can imagine what they're doing. Uh,
Snore.
I think no. I think there's a moment of passion happening between her mother and Philip, and it makes her uncomfortable. So she leaves. She doesn't want to hear the sound of the bed, and she gets uncomfortable and leaves. But notice, it's described the way a child might hear it. She doesn't hear this. We don't hear her parents were having sex. No, we don't hear that. We hear the sound of the bed barking. It sounds like an animal to her. And so it's written from her point of view. So that's kind of a funny moment. And she doesn't seem to realize, but it's bothering her, so she leaves. I mean, I picked that up. Here's another thing I want to point out. She felt like a piece of rice in a blowpipe, the kind the boys stung her with at school. So, is she having a good time at home? No, her father's not there and she doesn't understand why. Is she having a good time at school? What do you think, class?
In a school.
She doesn't have a good time at school.
Because?
Uh,
I agree, you're right. Because? Why?
um, the kind boys stung her at the school.
Yeah, the boys are being nasty to her because she's young and young boys always are nasty to little girls because they don't know what to do with them. But she feels like a piece of rice in a blowpipe. It's almost like she feels like a weapon. She feels like she maybe being down there is not just safe, but she somehow has some kind of power that she didn't have before. It's all very subtle. So the prose is very, very simple, but it has a lot of meaning underneath the words. Shadow, why don't you take the next two? Because everyone's read but you. Want to take the next two paragraphs? We're actually almost finished the story.
Yeah,
Go
can
for
you
it.
hear me? Okay. It seemed a bit of an ordinary thing to have done when she got out. Nevertheless, she went down every day to sit and think or to flick through the album. Then,
Wait.
uh,
I just got to correct you on one thing. At the end of the sentence, your voice has to go down. At the end of the album.
okay, I'll flick through the album. The hen sat on her eggs for 3 weeks. Kelly sat on the fence and gloated, looking into the chuck house next door at the rooster and his scrabbling hens, who didn't know what was happening her side of the fence. She
At the
knew
fence.
at or of?
No. Oh, sorry. Yes. Of the fence. But your voice has got to go down, or it sounds like you're asking a question.
Okay. Was happening her side of the fence?
Of the fence. Down.
Of the fence.
Good.
Okay. Of the fence. She knew now that there would be checks. I don't know what's this.
Encyclopedia.
The encyclopedia said so.
Okay, so where is she now? Is that clear, Shadow? Where is she?
She go back to the fence.
Well, she went back to the fence from the fence?
From the well.
Well, she was in the well, right? So
Yeah.
So she went down every day to the well, and she's looking through the albums, to the photo albums, the ones that her father used to take. And the egg that she found further, the hen is sitting on the egg. She found the hen that laid the egg, and the hen is kind of apart from the other animals. It's smaller and it's picked on all the time, so it's kind of hidden behind this like stack of hay or something. So it almost seems like she and the hen have a lot in common. By the way, why do you think that line is there? The encyclopedia said so. She knew there would be chicks. The encyclopedia said so.
I don't know what the meaning of encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia is like a big dictionary. So dictionary.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia is an encyclopedia. You know Wikipedia?
Maybe she read something like that, or
absolutely. So, how old do you think Kylie is, Shadow?
Maybe 7, 8 years.
Exactly. So she doesn't really understand reproduction yet. So she has to read about it in an encyclopedia. Oh, what happens when there's an egg? She reads it. Oh, chickens come from eggs. So you can see that she's young and naive. And I can't help but think there's a connection between this and the fact that she has to leave the house earlier because she's uncomfortable with the sounds coming from the bedroom. There seems to be a kind of connection here about her father missing, about the new man in the house, about eggs, chickens, and they all seem to be connected in some way. Let's see. We're back to Daniel for the next paragraph.
On nights when Philip and her mother had friends over.
Whoops, sorry, go ahead. I changed the page by accident.
On nights when Philip and her mother had friends over, Kyle listened from the darkened hallway.
From the darkened
hallway to their jokes that made no sense. Through the crack between door and jamb, she saw them touching each other beneath the table, and she wanted to know right then why her father and mother did not live together with her. It was something she was not allowed to know. She went back to her room and looked at the only picture in her album where her smiled to her that there was something she knew that the photographer didn't. She couldn't remember what it was. It was a whole year ago. The photo was a shot from way back in kindergarten. She was small, dark-haired.
Dark-haired.
Good.
With
her hands propping up her face. She held the picture close to her face. It made her confident. It made her think Philip and her mother were stupid. It stopped her from feeling lonely.
Ooh. What do you think? What do you think that she was doing in the picture? She could remember something that the photographer didn't. What do you think she was remembering?
The old good days
Uh-huh.
when her parents
Uh-huh.
are were were together and
Yeah,
her mother smiling.
I agree completely. And the photographer knew nothing about that. Because in this case, the photographer, I would imagine, is not her father.
It was her,
It
the
was
child, the Kyle, maybe.
maybe she went back to her room, looked at the only picture in the album where her smile told her that there was something she knew that the photographer didn't.
I
Well,
make it up.
no, but I'm saying it could be a picture of her smiling, but perhaps it was not taken by her father. Maybe it's a school picture.
uh,
And what you're saying, if that's true, then what you're saying, Daniel, is that she remembered these good days with her father, and the photographer was just taking a school picture and didn't know anything. So she saw a picture where she had a secret. She knew something that no one else knew. She's surrounded by people who have secrets, and she's not allowed to know what they are. And she doesn't get their jokes. And she sees them doing strange things like touching each other under the table. She doesn't understand it. So here, it seems to be connected to secrets in a different way. Okay, we're back to Andrew for the bottom of the page here.
Me?
Yep, you're the only Andrew here.
Okay.
The only one.
Philip caught her down the well on a Saturday afternoon. He had decided to weed the garden at last. She wasn't prepared for it. One moment she was alone with the mist. The next the well was full of Philip's shout. He came down and dragged her out. He hit her. He told her he was buying a padlock in the morning
Why was he buying a padlock?
to lock the well.
Right, so she couldn't get down in it. Okay, keep going, Andrew.
That evening the chicks hatched, hatched
Mm-hmm.
in the space between the sheet and tin and the back fence, 10 of them. At dusk, Kaylee put them into a cupboard box and dropped them down the well.
Squawked.
The hen squawked instantly around the yard.
Insanely. Not instantly.
Okay.
Insanely.
The hen squawked insanely around the yard, throwing itself about, knocking things over, creating such a frightening noise that Kelly chased it and hit it with a piece of wood, and while it still stunned, dropped it too down the dry well. She slumped slumped down on the lid and began to cry. The back light came on. Philip came out to get her.
Yuki, our last paragraph is a sentence long. Want to take
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Okay. Before bed, Kylie took her photograph, the knowing one from its place in the album, and with a pair of scissors cut off her head and poked it through a hole in the fly screen of the window.
Wow. Why did she do that? Is this the way you expected the story to end?
Is it end?
Yep. That's it.
It is not what I was expected.
Why not? It doesn't have a like It doesn't come together. All the things that we've seen, they don't come together. Is that what you mean? It's too open.
Yes, it's too open
Too open.
and it's cruel.
It is cruel, a little bit. It is cruel, but let's talk about the cruelty. What's cruel for you?
It's cruel for me because such a girl conducted in such a way. Of course, this story is full of her desperation and loneliness. So maybe her last action is based on her feeling that feel herself that filled her in recent years after her father left her. So I think
we also don't know if he left or if the mother left him. We don't really know, or maybe he died. We don't know what happened to him.
We don't know, but father left protagonist of the story, left Dochi, left daughter. So I think she have felt loneliness very much.
She felt lonely.
She felt lonely, and his only friend is pictures and hands. So
absolutely. Shadow, why do you think? Let's be clear about this. Why did she drop the hen down the well? Is that part clear? In the paragraph before.
The eggs. It's I don't know how to explain it. I understand that she threw them to the well.
The eggs? She didn't throw the eggs to the well. No, she.
I mean the chicks.
The not the chicks either. It says at dusk, Kylie put the chicks, into a cardboard box. Oh, yeah, you're right, and dropped them down the well. Yeah, you're right. I thought she carried them down, but she dropped them down. But anyway, we don't really know if that was violent or not. I mean, it doesn't sound nice, but it might not have been as bad as it sounds. Because drop them down, yeah.
Yeah, but she hit the hen with the piece of wood, so it's violent.
That is pretty violent.
Yeah.
So
I think she's crazy, like Charlie maybe.
So like Charlie, two crazy kids.
Yeah, but you know, this is a story. It's a start with sweetie Kelly, then poor Kelly, then crazy.
Nasty
Yeah.
Kelly. Nasty. Well, what do you think she's trying to accomplish? Why does she throw them down the well?
I think she wants to reflect her feelings. I don't know how to explain that, but she felt something bad, and she's trying to. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, reflect her feelings. So, like, to show how she feels. You mean to show how she feels?
I mean, the situation that she's in make her aggressive.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. She feels something that she can't understand. It makes her aggressive. I thought it was interesting, actually, because at the same time she's being aggressive and she's also trying to protect him, and it's like somehow confused for her. Like she puts them in the well, I thought, because partly she wants to protect them. So she puts them in a safe place. And then at the same time, she's aggressive because she has this terrible feeling she doesn't know what to do with. So it's like this confusion of I could be wrong, but that's my feeling. She's sort of like has these two different tendencies to both protect them by putting them in a safe place where no one can get them, and to destroy everything. If she can't have her private place in the well, then she can't have her secrets, so she's going to destroy the secrets as well. The secret was she found a hen that was just like her, right? Picked on, smaller, different, and she's kind of protecting it or kind of not telling anyone about it so that it can thrive on its own. And then she's sort of destroying it at the same time at the end. So it's weird, like protecting it and destroying it. At least that's what it seems like. Interesting.
Something secret was born in her inside, and it gradually it became larger and larger. It's maybe kind of loneliness, and maybe I think she missed her father, but there is no picture left around her, surrounding her, so
Right.
she didn't know what to do. So that's why she raised hen, but and her mother and Phillips has a close relationship. She maybe she feel separated with her family. Maybe only her friend is deceased father. No, I don't know deceased.
Well,
Deceased,
maybe. Yeah, maybe he
maybe
is.
deceased father and hands and photography, and only one place she can feel comfort is the well inside the well in the darkness.
Like being in an egg, right?
Yes, like being in egg. Yes.
And at the end, the egg hatches, and what comes out is a little monster, like what Shadow was saying. So it is kind of the story of the birth of the chicks and the birth of what happens when you do this to a little child. Like when you put the child in this circumstance, what's going to happen? Well, I think we see what's happening.
I think she have a maybe autism. Autism. Maybe
really.
She looks like autistic. So and everyone knows that every children is some kind of have a cluelessness. So
cruelty.
So that's why at the end of the story she conducted in such a way.
Yeah, as Daniel said, she's a future serial killer, just like Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. Probably.
It's too far. I don't think so.
Maybe. We're lucky. Well, look,
children have such a tendency.
Let me just cut you off because I have to end the class here. But look, I want you to think about the discussion questions, and there's a little vocabulary exercise on the next page. I've given you 3 tough words, and you can fill in the next 4 to try out this vocabulary exercise. The discussion questions are there to get you to think about it. In the next class, we'll start by talking about those questions, and then we're going to begin another story too. But in the first half, we can talk about this because we didn't have a lot of time right now. Okay? I'll be back in 30 seconds to start the business class. Stick around for the middle of our making decisions. Okay? So I'll be back soon for that. Stick around. Bye for now, everyone.